Urashiki once expressed his concern for the Jougan by calling it a troublesome eye, and the first chapter of Two Blue Vortex has justified this statement. Boruto's epic entry from the sky could only be possible with the Jougan, and what this means for his power level will completely blow your mind. What extraordinary Omni Powers is he going to have in the future? Let's find out. When the concept of SHINJUTSU was introduced in Boruto, it was pretty much confirmed that the power scaling is about to reach a new peak in the show. The progression level of every character's powers and skill set is lunatic, and Boruto moving on from the ninjutsus to awaken the divine techniques of Otsutsukis makes a lot of sense. I made a prediction in a previous video that the events of Two Blue Vortex might be a retelling of the events of the new arc from the anime, especially the awakening of the Jougan and how Boruto learns to use it. Amazingly, there was one such event from the anime. It seems to foreshadow an interesting scene of the latest chapter. It was revealed in the third Boruto novel that Jougan can hear voices of people from far away. When the novel got adapted back in episode 14 of the anime, we could see Boruto using a power similar to the clairvoyance when his friends were calling out his name. He then opened a portal and fell from the sky right in front of them. They even questioned him how he fell from the sky, and this is where things took an interesting turn. Something similar happened in the very first time skip chapter when Code tells Sarada to scream and let her voice reach Boruto. As we know, the Jougan can hear voices, and maybe that's the trigger of its clairvoyance power that was known to Code. Boruto then appearing from the sky, similar to what happened in the anime, makes it clear that he teleported using the pure eye. This means the anime canons foreshadowed the events of the manga, just as I predicted before the chapter's release. Keeping the Jougan aside, what other divine powers can we expect from Boruto in the time skip? Well, the very first ability deals with flying around just like Otsutsuki's, because he has become a pure Otsutsuki at this point. Kawaki was also shown to have the flight ability, which means Boruto must have it as well. Next up, we have the powers of Momoshiki, but all of them shall be manifested by the Kama. Let's first talk about the Rinnegan of Momoshiki and why Boruto doesn't have one. The monster had a Rinnegan on both of his palms. The right one was able to absorb ninjutsu, while the left one could utilize such techniques. This means if he would absorb a Rasengan with his right hand, the left hand would rebound it on the opponent with increased intensity. Similar to how Borushiki absorbed Naruto's chakra in the Boro fight and made a huge Rasengan out of it. Not to mention, Borushiki used the same palm to absorb Naruto's chakra that he used to manifest the Rasengan. He did not switch hands like Momoshiki, which means all the abilities of the monster can be efficiently manifested by the Kama. This could hint at Boruto absorbing ninjutsu techniques in the future and further amplifying them into more powerful powers. Similar to how Momoshiki used the Rinnegan to effortlessly absorb the powers of his enemies' elemental attacks and then use them to create large elemental entities like a blazing bird and a golem. The golem creature was powerful enough to battle a Susanoo armored Kurama, and by this we can conclude the level of Boruto's powers in the time skip is gonna be insane. He could easily absorb ninjutsu and then manifest an army of powerful entities to take down his enemies. The only problem is that Boruto's opponents know about the jutsu absorption technique. To be on the safe side, Code infused some iron from his blood to create the Grime army, which made them absorption proof from an Otsutsuki. This means even though Boruto can do miracles with his ninjutsu absorption power, his opponents are smart enough to not use such techniques. So how will he tackle this situation? We will get into that later in the video, but before that, let's understand why Boruto having a Byakugan would be lame and why the awakening of the Jougan is way too essential for him. Kawaki and Sarada having unique ocular powers that will obviously increase their power levels to a huge degree could steal the spotlight from Boruto if he unlocks the same old dojutsu. The Jougan could help him reach up to Kawaki's stature in terms of power level, but how exactly will it happen? We know Kawaki has the power to shrink objects as well as Code's claw marks, so Boruto must harness a similar power, most likely with the Jougan, that would let him reach Kawaki's level. We know Madara awakened the Rinnegan by infusing the DNA of Hashirama into his body. It was considered the rarest dojutsu among the shinobis that was only possessed by a god. For context, Otsutsukis are gods to humans because of their Shinjutsu and other astounding powers and abilities. Even when Toneri said the gods will soon descend upon this land, he wasn't referring to the Otsutsuki gods, rather the beings who are seen as deities by humans. Otherwise, it won't make sense for him to regard the members of his own clan as gods. The way the Otsutsukis reacted to the Jougan of Boruto, it seems like it's the rarest dojutsu in the Otsutsuki world. In other words, what Rinnegan is to shinobis is what Jougan is to Otsutsukis. So if Boruto wants to get rid of this situation, where his opponents are highly overpowered, he will need to awaken this power as soon as possible. We have seen the pure eye using the abilities from the three major dojutsus, Byakugan, Sharingan and the Rinnegan. But why is it like that? How does the Jougan manifest the power powers of all these eyes, even though it doesn't share any resemblance with them. Well, this has something to do with Boruto's Otsutsuki physiology, but the symbolic meaning behind it is even deeper. Just like how white light is made up of 7 colors, the Jougan's metaphorical meaning indicates that it's a combination of all the dojutsus in existence. By this we can theoretically conclude it's actually the most powerful eye in the verse, and its awakening could be an outcome of Boruto's Otsutsuki physiology combined with the DNA of a pure Otsutsuki. The children of Naruto inherited huge potential from birth due to their parental connection with Hagoromo and Hamura. Hinata and Naruto having the chakra of Kaguya's sons was enough for their children to possess Otsutsuki power. It was further confirmed with this 2-panel event of chapter 78 when Daemon felt some immense intensity from Himawari, the person who's regarded as the most broken character just after Shibai. Being afraid of someone who's not even a shinobi is pretty interesting. It only proves that the fusion of their parents' chakras has unintentionally made both of them too powerful. The only reason Boruto never released such intensity is because of Momoshiki, who acts as a blockade to his true potential. But he's also the reason for his Otsutsuki evolution, which granted him the capacity of handling a Shinjutsu like the Jougan. As Momoshiki regarded the omnipotence as Shinjutsu of Shinjutsus, the same must be the case for the Jougan, the Dojutsu of Dojutsu. So could this title grant Boruto's eye a power similar to Aida or the Otsutsuki god? Well, the prophecy of Toneri says that the Jougan will guide Boruto and he will shoulder the fate of the world by dispelling the darkness. If we think about it, the destiny of everyone on the planet was completely changed when Aida used the power of omnipotence. So Boruto taking on the fate of everyone on the planet could also refer to him changing everyone's fate. The darkness here could symbolize the chaos that Kawaki is gonna bring in the future. He has already corrupted Mitsuki with his influence by making him a ruthless killer. Boruto dispelling the darkness that shrouds everyone's hearts could explain the Jougan's true powers. So what if the future scene is the time when omnipotence got reversed and Boruto is now trying to humble an insane Kawaki who is in disbelief? It makes sense, cause why would Kawaki want to destroy a system whose followers wholeheartedly embraced him? He even seems to be wearing a Kara outfit in this scene, which means he chose to follow their ideologies for some reasons. It could be that he will again start feeling empty after omnipotence reversal, and upon remembering the words of Jigen, he will start to revolutionize the world that made him feel horrible for his actions. A similar hint can be found in the recent chapter where Konoha guards want Boruto and Ko to kill each other. Kawaki knows all this hate is directed at him, explaining why he would take such a big step after getting caught. So to match this overpowered Kawaki, Boruto needs some powers that are out of everyone's league. So what could they be? Well, for the Jougan to beat the claw grind, I think just because they follow the orders of their master, Boruto could do the Kagemasa move to defeat them all. I'm referring to the episode where both the Jougan and its ability was teased by Kishimoto. In episode 8 of the anime, Boruto watched a movie where the hero Kagemasa used his time stoppage power to bring down his enemies. Assuming Momoshiki already has a similar power, it's safe to assume that the Jougan manifesting such ability to defeat the Grime army is not out of question. It might even help him to defeat Code if Kishimoto wants him to go down as the biggest L character of shonen. But anyway, Kawaki would definitely find a loophole in this ability, cause Boruto won't be able to take him down unless the story hits the prologue scene. Talking about the non-Jougan prowess of Boruto, that would grant him an upper hand against most of his opponents. We know Momoshiki and Kinshiki were regarded as an even greater threat than Kaguya. The Otsutsuki was even able to destroy a whole world according to a light novel, and he even claimed that he could defeat Kaguya without breaking a sweat. It makes sense for him to make such claim as he knows about a number of Shinjutsus, so he must be naturally aware about their weaknesses too. The fact that Boruto is fused with the same entity who has all these unreal feats written in his name has already ranked him above most of the characters. I think with proper training, his Taijutsu and Kenjutsu will be powerful enough to take down his mighty opponents. It would symbolize his connection to his shinobi origins as he guides Kawaki towards redemption without resorting to the Shinjutsu abilities that his counterpart employed to devastate Konoha. I will soon bring a video covering everything that Boruto will inherit from Momoshiki, so don't forget to subscribe. Till then, you can check out these videos to unsolve the Jougan mystery. I will see you next time.